Alright, what is going on, guys? Crypto Mac here, bringing you another crypto video today. We're going to take a look at Sandbox, which as you can see has been performing pretty well as the past 24 hours, up to $6.20, which is good to see back at this price, obviously. Um, just want to say this video is not financial advice, so please do your own research. So looking at Sand, as I just said, been performing pretty well as you can see, was moving sideways for a bit there after a big correction, and just previously, as of about this morning for myself, about 12 hours ago, had a really nice pump, about 30% within about 12-hour period, 16 hours we see there. And up to $6 about 40 was when it got up to, which is really, really good to see. On that short term, we can see now just moving sideways. One thing I speculate, and obviously this is based off historically what we've seen, is bull flags. That seems to be the motto for Sand, and so I am just watching that, just trying to see if that's going to play out. And obviously, you could potentially argue that we have a bull flag forming. Now, I'm not going to say for sure because it's not the greatest falling wedge or descending channel, but it's something to watch. And I think there's always the chance that does happen. As I said, if you've been watching my videos, you'd see I was talking about it a lot here with these constant falling wedges forming and bull flags just taking place, which is really awesome. And that's where Sand went absolutely parabolic. So if we were to see it again, the price target would be up here. If we had a breakout around this period, the price target would be around $7.50. Would take us extremely close to all-time high levels, which was at $8.50. So effectively, it could just put us in a really good spot again for Sand and start that big move up. And potentially even see big moves moving forward, like not only to all-time high levels, but also take us higher past all-time highs. I mean, I say it every video, and I said it the whole way through, that the NFT space is continuing to grow. Like, even whilst Sandbox was correcting and coming down a lot and just consolidating at this prices, like, the NFT space is growing, the Sandbox is growing, more people are getting involved. And it's just extremely bullish for the project. And I think long term, I just see like this coin doing extremely well, right? I mean, same with other NFT coins. And that's what I'm saying. I said the whole way through here, and now we're seeing that move back up. And so what I'm saying is that once we get back up to these all-time high levels, which I think we could get to relatively soon, sooner rather than later. Obviously, it depends on Bitcoin as well. Trading at 51,000 is really, really solid. If it takes a turn to the worst, goes down more, then I think Sand will just have to correct and wait before it makes that move back up. But as long as Bitcoin stays at these prices or even goes up, that'll just be extremely bullish and helpful for Sand to actually get back to all-time high levels, and then break that, then break $10 and then go higher. I think Sand could definitely go higher. And if we see the cycle lengthen, the bull market cycle lengthen to 2022, I can see Sand hitting $15, $20, $30 even by the end of 2022, which would be about a 4.5x from this period, a 4 to 5x. I could for sure see that happening. And if we look like from this point here, like I had a big 10x move to that top up there. And I know it's different because the price is lower, so the market cap's lower, but still, like, there's still, in my opinion, a fair way to go for Sand. And as the crypto space is growing, as the bull market cycle is lengthening, which I believe it is, and if it does, then that's going to be bullish. And as the NFT space is just continuing to grow and develop, and the metaverse is developing, all of that is just extremely bullish for Sandbox, and just shows its true potential. And that's why this coin is able to make parabolic moves like this, where most coins aren't actually able to do that right now as such, especially not to this degree, because they don't get big news like a coin like Sandbox could get being involved with NFT. Like, you don't see Ethereum, Bitcoin, Cardano, Ziliqua, DOT. You don't really see these big parabolic moves. As I said, this is a 240% move right here, 250%. You don't really see that with other coins. You can. There's some coins that can, but it's usually based off big news, and that kind of news is something that Sandbox can get, being the coin it is. So onto the technical analysis, we can see we're in this descending channel, bit of a falling wedge if you really want to say, and we broke out of this, which is pretty nice. And we just smashed through the price target, as you can see. We might correct around. We could come down to this level. Would be some speculation. We could come down to this level of about $5.80, get support there, and then start that move back up and continue a bull flag. There's definitely a potential for that. Another thing to look at is this falling wedge that was taking place on the more macro, on the larger time frame, on the 4 hourly here. This was taking place a while ago, started late November to about, we broke out early December. So you can see that we broke out here at 9th of December, and then as I just pointed out in my last chart, there was just this sideways move, right? There was even a symmetrical triangle you could draw there, or you could draw the big channel here. There's a couple of different things you could draw, but there was just that sideways move where we just kept getting resistance the whole way. And now we see the breakout, not the breakout, sorry, the pump, right? The pump finally came. And if we look at it, so we broke out and we tested support around 3 times on the 4 hourly. You can see we just constantly just hugged the line, just tested the support. So if you could take it from like down here, which is where like our last point of support was, and you can see we're pretty close to our target, but we're not actually there yet. Our target's up here at $7 and we're at $6.20. So there's still, based off this, there's still a bit of room to grow off this falling wedge. But you know, usually you break out of a pattern, then you hit the target. This one we broke out and we just moved sideways, right? And so it somewhat invalidates that price target, I would argue, but still that price target is $7.20. So it would just be something I'm watching, you know. It'd be pretty unreasonable to expect it to go from this price here at $5 and pump to $7.20, which is a 40% move, you know, really quickly. And so this like red candles were probably necessary if it does want to pump again, form that quick bull flag and then go again, which have seen, as I said, a lot. We saw this bull flags take place the whole way up to this rally upwards to $8.50. That's what we saw on the Sand Bitcoin chart. It's basically the same story. This falling wedge we broke out, and now Sand just is performing well against Bitcoin, which is good to see. Not a lot to discuss here, just Sand doing well. As I said, this chart basically is a replica of the Sand USD chart. These bull flags are still forming on this chart as well. So that's good to see. It's good to see Sand outperforming Bitcoin as well. It's always what you want. As for Bitcoin, we can see here, Bitcoin was in this falling wedge, broke out. And again, we're talking about Bitcoin because that's going to help altcoins perform, and altcoins depend on Bitcoin quite a bit. And just, as I said, if Bitcoin does come down significantly, then it's likely most altcoins will come down. I believe Sam will do the same and come down, as we saw this massive period here. And if Bitcoin holds or continues its move up, that allows Sand to make these moves. Sand most likely, and it's just speculation, I know, but most likely wouldn't have made this move if Bitcoin didn't pass, let's say 50K, right? As it did, it's up 51,000 now. If Bitcoin didn't pump to that price, then this parabolic move may not have happened, or may not have been as great, you could argue. Now, it is speculation, but that's usually how it works. As Bitcoin trends down, most altcoins will trend down. As Bitcoin trends up, most altcoins will trend up in greater percentages. And as I said, so Bitcoin currently moving at 51,000 is really good. Break out of the falling wedge. We're not quite at our price target. The price target's at 52,000. And I said in yesterday's video that Bitcoin was sort of forming this falling wedge as well on the hourly. And so there was a bit of a bull flag in formation as well. And so that bull flag was in line with that $52,000 target. So we're not quite there yet. The other thing you could look at, I talk a lot about bull flags. I'm not sure why. They just seem to pop up quite a bit. I do believe in them. And I guess that was probably because of that massive parabolic move for Sand that I've just become accustomed to looking for bull flags. But you could almost argue there's a bull flag forming here. If you want a bit of a symmetrical triangle on the hourly, it's probably a bit too early to say. It's definitely a bit too early to say. I don't think this is the greatest symmetrical triangle by any means, but for speculation reasons, if we were to see a bull flag, then we could have another move. So we had a big move, symmetrical triangle, another pretty big move. When I say big move, it's only a few $1,000s or a couple $1,000s. Not great moves, right? 10%, about a 10% move there. This one, about 5%. So not like massive moves, but we had the move, symmetrical triangle, had a move, symmetrical triangle. So maybe next is another move to bring us, well, it would bring us upwards of the $53,000 range, 54,000. Once we get there, now we're above the bull market support band. Now we're really back in high gear. we're looking real bullish at that point, I would say. And a lot of people would also say, yeah, this is pretty heavy speculation. Do not think that we're definitely going to just break out of that symmetrical triangle. You know what? I'll leave it and I'll just see what happens. Right, over the next legit hour, we'll see what's played out there. Most likely we'll just wiggle out. Nothing will come from that. But it'll be interesting just to see what does happen. And yeah, it's just good to see Sand pumping, which I did talk about. I spoke about how, you know, Sam went parabolic. No question about that at all. Absolute parabolic. Within, if we actually look at the price and time, this was 8 days, 20 hours, 269%. That's massive moves. Massive moves. No major corrections was the other thing. No major corrections. This was 20%. This one was 9%. That was about it. As for corrections, there was no major corrections. And then eventually, the correction must come as the coin becomes overbought. And we saw that with a 51% move. And came down to about this region here of 47% to 34%. And not only did we correct decent percentages, but we also consolidated in price and started moving sideways, which is really good and allows us to make this next move up. Also, if we look more long term, we could see a bit of a cup and handle play out. I would speculate that this could be the move we make. Is a move like this, and that could tee us up for a really big Q1 2022 as well. We see a move like this, cup and handle. We break that resistance over here in early Jan, late Jan, maybe February. If we have this slow increase in price up until that level, come down, correct a bit, come back up, break that. Then we can look at targets above $10 and upwards of even $15 maybe. This is a very long-term view as well. When I say very long-term, I'm talking a few months maybe. And it's also pretty optimistic and somewhat deterministic. So you don't expect that to happen, but it's just looking at one of the potentials that could play out. I mean, we see that quite a bit with a lot of coins, how they form a cup and handle and then they move from there. So this is what I'm looking at for Sandbox. I'm very bullish on this coin. I think it's going to perform well in 2022. Q1 to Q4 right through. Let me know on your thoughts. I'll keep you updated on this little descending channel, you could argue, little bull flag maybe forming. I'll keep you updated on that. Follow my Twitter. If we see a breakout from this, I'll post it straight away. And yeah, please give the video a like, guys. Do appreciate it. Comment, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you later.